Yeah, folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to X4 Foundations. We have dabbled with this game previously on the channel, but haven't been able to make a big run of it before. And that's something I've always wanted to do, both for the channel, but also for myself. There are a lot of great space sims out there. A lot of them are much more well-known. I would suggest something like Elite Dangerous, for example, is probably much more popular. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed No Man's Sky. I like EVE Online. I like all these different ones. But X4 has a special place in my heart, and the reason I've always wanted to really dive into this X franchise pretty extensively is, first of all, it's been around for a long time. Even X4, the fourth iteration of this franchise, came out in 2018, so it's like 7 years old at this point, and it's getting constantly updated, very much one of these labor of love kind of games. I started practicing it this week with the intention of, at some point, hopefully soon, starting a Let's Play. I had no idea when I started practicing that we were on the cusp of a major new release for this game. Version 7.5 has been, I think, in beta testing for something like 3 months now or something like that. Features a massive rebalance of the game, a whole new flight model, a bunch of different stuff going on, which is a big deal. It's also getting bundled with a new DLC, Hyperion Pack, I think it's called, and it's cheap as heck. It's like, I think it's like $8.99 Canuckian dollars, so very inexpensive. I really like what Egosoft has done with X4, and this sort of long-term franchise for it. One of the things that's always appealed to me about X4 is that it's not really about just having one ship and piling it around and doing pew-pew shooting stuff. It is a very big living sandbox galaxy where you can own any number of ships, huge fleets, and you can command them from a central sort of just command interface of just their big map. While you're still flying around your own ship doing that, you can build your own space stations, which have massive amounts of different constructions and modules that you can add on. Trade is extensive, and you can actually go and conquer sectors, flip sectors, work with different factions. It seems just really involved and kind of my dream space game in very many ways, so it's really shameful that I haven't been able to do a proper playthrough of that. Anyway, we're 2.5 minutes into this video. I haven't clicked anything yet. Let's go ahead and fix that. Despite the fact that there are so each DLC expands the galaxy a little bit. Each DLC also brings different starts. Now, all of these still work within the grand scheme of the sandbox, and apparently all the content is more or less available no matter what your start. There might be some faction changes here and there, but everything can be overcome in different ways. And there is a new start with the Hyperion Pack, which I have gotten purchased. As far as I know, I have all the DLC, and whoa, that's really loud. As far as I know, I have all the DLC and no mods. I'm not running any mods whatsoever, although apparently there are good ones for that. I'm not going to run any of the DLC starts. I'm going to take the Young Gun start, which is the most sandboxy, I think, most blank start of all of them. We just start with a very basic ship, very little money, and that's it. Some of the others, like The Unworthy Entrepreneurs, another's just blank slate sandbox start, except you start with a couple of ships and a station, a little bit more money, and so it can accelerate you in different ways. But we're just going to do this. So our race is Argon, which, as I understand it, is a human race. There are different factions of humans, most notably, I think, the Terrans versus the Argon. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and just jump in here and skip the little intro flavor text, but
Val Selton's log.
I'll do this one.
I'm excited to get underway with this new ship. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do yet. Trading, exploring, am I brave enough to face combat? Whatever it is,
very sandbox.
I'm sure it'll be exciting.
I think I did stream this maybe a couple of years ago, and I think we might have done the Terran Cadet start, or no, I think the other start. I think I'd played with the Terran Cadet start myself, but the other start from that expansion, which I can't remember what was called, and basically starts you with like a weird space station half embedded into an asteroid. I think we dabbled around with that start a little bit, which was really interesting, but I'm liking this blank slate start. And one of the things I'm going to do, I know I'm going to get presented with some of the more story-based quests pretty early on. I think I'm going to ignore them for a little bit, even though there is one that's quite good because it can lead to your starting home base headquarters with research capacity, which is good. Also, from there, it's really easy to pick up a second ship. I want to really play around with the base level of the sandbox first and get used to things. So here we are. We are starting, I believe, in the Argon equipment dock. Yep, indeed, in the system of Black Hole Sun 4. And this is our ship in front of us, which is an Elite Vanguard as a class, and we'll probably be renaming it relatively soon. And we got a cool planet out the window over there. We can look around, we can rock around over here in first person if we want. Reopening the map, we can zoom out. We don't know much about the galaxy at all. We are aware of 3 different sectors, and that is it. So Black Hole Sun 4, Second Contact to Flashpoint, and Argon Prime, sort of the headquarters of the faction that we belong to, is in this section. Even where we are, we really don't have a lot of info. I don't know what the lore is necessarily for why we have like absolutely zero information, like star maps aren't available or anything, but it sure does lead to fun and satisfying gameplay to go and explore it yourself. Whether or not that makes any sense, I don't care. It's great. So let's take a look at our vessel. We've got one big old gun on the front. Well, big gun is somewhat subjective over here. This is a very tiny ship, basically a one-person fighter. Well, that's not true. We do have a cargo bay in the back that we can't actually enter, but it's implied there's a little bit of cargo back there. And we do actually have room for 2 crew in addition to ourselves. And that can be a pilot. And I'm actually a big fan of recruiting a pilot very early on to automate certain flying. I don't have a ton of experience in the game. In particular, I really don't have much of the advanced experience. I've never gone and built my own space station. Very minimal involvement in actual trade. Mostly it's just the lone ship flying around doing missions, doing a little bit of combat stuff that I have the most experience with. Well, actually, in my practice campaign that I was playing this week, I did get up to 4 ships, and I was automating them to go and do some surveying, and I did get 1 ship starting to do some auto mining, but that's about it. So very, very noob level. We can talk to the various people that are walking around over here. What's your name? Leonard. So we can get some info. Well, you could hire. You're very expensive because you are starting with nearly 3 levels of engineering. Again, we're starting off with $10,000, so there's not that. And around the space station, we can go and visit different areas. If we go over here into the turbolift, the transporter room, we've got different areas that we can visit. I think the engineering section is a place we can get some upgrades for our spacesuits, for example. But we're going to go ahead and leave on our ship. You can use Shift D as a shortcut. I think it's Shift D to quickly teleport to basically right here on your ship, even if you're somewhere else on the station, which is a handy dandy shortcut. But we'll go ahead and just take command of the ship. And we get this little interface. I'm going to undock. And there we go. You can, I think it's shift space. There we go. Now we're in mouse steering mode. A lot of times I just end up doing just a click to drag most of the time when I'm steering manually. That may change if I'm doing more combat or something, but I really like to fly the ships in the sort of management mode. A lot of times I actually just spend most of the game when I'm playing on the map view and controlling things there, which is one of the reasons I'm a fan of getting a pilot, even for my starting ship, if possible. So we'll leave the dock over here, and as soon as we do, we'll be able to accelerate a little bit more. Grand. And now we're in space. And there's the space station we just left, the equipment dock, there's the docking bay, and it's quite a large structure. We can see some little ships moving in and out. The galaxy is simulated to a huge degree with lots of things going on. I'm going to check to see if there's any mission offers over here. There are, 2 medium difficulty ones, which is probably not what we can do. Patrol the system and possibly blow some things up. Secure sector for at least 20 minutes. Yeah, I think these medium missions might be a little much for us. We're going to be looking for something that's easy or very easy to get started. So that's these 2 missions, these yellow markers over here. We're going to have to fly around the sector a little bit more, find some other locations, or we could pop to another sector. Let's start off by doing a few little long-range scans. Just going to charge up my long-range scanner here. Boom! What direction? Sort of plus X minus Z. And then let's cycle over here, sort of 90 degrees, do another pulse. So it's Shift 3, or if you hit Enter, you can change your ship mode over here. We're in long-range scan mode. And then when you're in long-range scan mode, you hold R to charge, and then release it. I think the closer to the middle you release it, the further the pulse goes. And what this is going to do is put little markers on our map over here for various destinations. So plus Z... Where's plus Z? Over here. We really didn't get any pings in that direction? Thought there'd be maybe a little bit more. As far as I know, the layout of the sectors and where they're ranged is the same every time, but there is some stuff that's kind of randomized at each start, and then after that, the procedural sort of fully simulated galaxy takes over, so the gameplay can shift pretty quickly. Let's head generally in this direction and see if these stations might have some different missions for us. So if I select it and I hit T, I can put a target, so I know I want to go that way. And we can just go forward at our maximum speed, but our maximum speed with our current engine's 175 meters per second. It's going to take us a while to get there. I can hold tab to do a boost. Previously, the boost would drain your shields in the 7.5 patch. Now it's got a dedicated boost bar, and that does accelerate it, but the real thing to do is to hit Shift 1, or again, you can hit Enter and then switch over here to the modes. Ooh, I accidentally can cancel that, which is what I meant. But we go with travel mode. Travel mode activates a different mode on your engine, which will accelerate us quite quickly over here. You can see we'll rapidly go above this limit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm sort of going to putter around a little bit, do a flyby on these missions, or on these stations, A, to identify them, and B, to see if they've got any easier quests for me to do for some early bucks. Again, with my fighter here, I think I've got a cargo capacity of like 150 cubic meters, which isn't very much. So starting off doing some cargo trading wouldn't be very good. And part of it too is I actually don't know what trade is available. I don't know who's buying what and for what price right now. You've got to go and visit these stations to get that info, and it does age off after a while. One of the things we can do is drop satellites, so we get constant updates about those. But since, again, I'm not running a freighter, that doesn't seem like a very good idea, a very good way for us to get started. These missions will expire after a while. You don't have anything for me? Dang, okay. Let's go, and I'm just gonna aim towards another question mark over here. Again, I could select it and hit T to get a targeting thing. There we go, so that I know I'm going directly towards it. The other thing I could do is activate some guidance and use the autopilot as well to buzz around. I could go and do some local scanning of some of these stations, find a data leak. There's a good chance that would lead to a quest fairly early on. Preemptive defense, hard. Oh my god. Yeah, well, we're not doing that one. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to go set a guidance to this object over here, and then just activate autopilot, so I don't have to worry about manually steering. The autopilot is pretty much goes in a straight line, activates travel mode, and does okay. Well, this is a rather unfortunate start. Usually get like some cheap clear mines missions, or maybe ferry a passenger. There's usually some really basic stuff. One of the things I'm going to do with this, because there's going to be some downtime in this game, is I will be doing some edits. I won't be doing some constant talking. In fact, what I'm going to do most likely is at some points I will stop talking, and I will use that as a marker in my editing software to do some cuts. All right. I did get my first easy mission from Argonne Defense Station here, is help us keep our water clean. They need 13 algae scrubbers. And the reward for that will be 52 grand. There's no time limit on this, so I will accept. The missions themselves, the offers will expire, so if you don't take them, they will expire. But other than that, there's no time limit, so I may as well accept it. I don't know if I take a look for algae scrubbers. Okay, so I don't know anywhere that sells an algae scrubber yet. So we'll just keep an eye out for that as we travel around. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to jump to this jump gate, because I think, while this does say superhighway, I think this is a superhighway to a single other system, another one of these black hole sun systems. Every time I say that, I definitely want to sing the song, of course. But I'm going to jump to Second Contact 2 Flashpoint, and maybe even make my way over to Argonne Prime. One of these is on the superhighway sort of a loop. There's one big, massive superhighway loop that encompasses a large section of the galaxy, and if I can just jump on that and ride it, it'll reveal a bunch of systems, and we'll also do a flyby of a number of different stations, and it might be a quick way for us to quickly detect some missions. This is to me, this feels like a weirdly slow start, but we'll see what we can do. The colored area on the map over here, these are mining areas. So, well, the mining filter won't show me anything right now, but I believe blue areas have gases, red areas have ores, or, well, yeah, ore type thing. There's a resource just called ore, but there's other ores like silicon, different things like that. And purple is both. So presumably, and they're solid when they're within vision range. Then they go to the outline when they're outside of vision range. So there's that. If there is actually a good source of just raw ore or raw silicone in this system, this would actually be a great place to set up some early mining, because we know we can sell the raw stuff to either the silicon or the ore refineries over here. And then there might even be some other ways to convert things, because I think they make I don't know. This makes processed metals. I'm not sure what the production chain is, but then there might be somewhere else we can sell it within the system, which would be okay. All right, let's pop over here. I did tell the autopilot to send us the gate, but it just flies us to the gate unless I told it to go to a destination on the other side of it. So I'm just going to manually fly through this one. There we go.
Hyperion Gravidar signature acquired. Back on track.
Oh! This must be related to the new expansion.
Hyperion! Just like a shrike out of the mist. Suddenly, she's here. Suddenly, she's gone. Whoa, is she trying to shake me off? Not happening. I'm staying right on her tail.
Okay, so I know that if you take the... okay, this is always going to be around here, because this is... Actually, I may... You know what? What the heck? Let's go in a... No, this is going to stay here. These are story missions. They're going to stay here. I know there's a dedicated Hyperion start, where you start with the Hyperion already, and then otherwise, I think the expansion still offers you a way to get it. And I suspect... I don't know, but I suspect that the Hyperion is probably a ship that from maybe one of the previous X games. I know X3 was widely considered to be extremely good, and even when X4 came out, a lot of people were like, well, I mean, the graphics and, you know, the UI and some of the quality of life stuff might be better in X4, but the content or something in X3 is better. I think that X4 at this point, with the years of updates, I don't think people tell you that anymore. All right, so this is the super highway ring. I love, like, the advertisements and stuff, so we're just going to go ahead and jump onto this. And now our speed's going to go absolutely crazy. Kilometers per second we're going to go. I'm going to lock on over here. And yeah, we're going to fly by different things. You guys want an unstable crystal. Again, there's no time limit, so I may as well accept. I think I had to accept before I left the system anyway. Here we're going to fly by the Argon Wharf, which is a place where we can build small and medium ships, and the shipyard is for bigger ships, I think. And a couple of things they might... Nope, no missions here. I'm just going to ride this. Oh, hang on. Easy. Delicate situation. Destroy mines. Yep. Great. Lovely. I'm just going to keep riding the superhighway because I want to get some quick and easy mapping. And again, this is going to be a full loop. It's going to bring us right around here by the end of it. New story mission. Cool. Lovely. But I'm going to keep an eye out over here to see other mission offers. I'm going to skip the medium still. There's jump gates. We don't know where it goes. And this yellow outline, whatever the latest mission I've accepted is set by default active as our guidance. So the yellow outline is trying to send us there. It's trying to tell us to pull a U-turn, go the opposite way on this highway, and then see what we've got. Insurance fraud, fun missions that are being offered. Okay, yeah, we're going to get a quest log full of stuff now for us to burn through. Nothing here. Nothing here. If I wasn't trying to be so attentive over here, I'd go through some of these other tabs right now to highlight the different factions that do exist. So far, lots of Argon missions, Unknown Alliance invitation over here. Vroom to the next system. If I hit R, we can stay locked on us as we go. At some point, we'll also get something, I think it's called the SETA. Very easy. Ship information. Find a specified ship. I accept. I knew I could count. Which is a time acceleration thing. Which I think can be really good, especially when you go into management mode or want to do a long trip. It just like accelerates the time throughout the entire galaxy. Basically, like I think it like quadruples the simulation speed for you, which I don't think is terribly important at the start. Mission accepted. We got an easy one, preventative. Destroy criminal traffic. Okay, that's fine. I'm not double checking. I don't think any of these had a time limit once they were accepted. Cycle this view. Here we go. Destroy some mines. Yep, good. I mean, maybe this is crazy, but it seems like a good way to get started. Whoop. Do the next one.
Entering system.
Very easy. Industrial espionage. Deploy a satellite at a position. Sounds great. Destroy some mines. Okay. Now, I might want to stop at this point, because I've got a lot of these, and at some point, I might be like, okay, all these easy missions are sort of beneath me at this point. Maybe I'll have earned enough money off these missions to do something else. And I think abandoning the mission does cost you some rep. But I don't know. I think it's probably a good way to get started. And I like a little tour. The colors here, I believe, show the ownership of these various sectors. So the blue are the Argon sectors. Yellow is... What are the factions and relations? It's Haladi. Think is yellow, for example.
Claim.
Let's do this. No missions here. Whoop, into the next one.
Entering system. Fully vision.
So these markers I think might be for a highway, which is within a sector as opposed to going through different sectors. Advanced electronics factory. We were nearly completing the loop. I think there's one more sector maybe we go through here. There's that. Because you can see sometimes the thing skips a sector, but there might be another one properly in there. True sight. You do have a mission here. That's what the yellow marker is. Caught in a trap. Oh, that's another minefield clearing one. I'll accept. As far as I know, gaining rep for one faction doesn't remove rep for the other. I mean, obviously it depends. Okay, let's bail out of this. As far as I know, gaining rep for one faction doesn't cost you rep for any other factions, unless, of course, it requires you to destroy something belonging to someone else, for example. Okay, now, I don't think there's an easy way for me to tell what's closest. Caught in a trap.
Has assembled an expedition to study this rare event. A reactivation.
This is in the Argon Federation, so I suspect this one might be a little closer. What was this one? Destroy some mines. Okay, this is active. We've got our guidance because it's active. It's going to chop back on the highway. This will be a good one, I think, for throwing the autopilot on. So, we're back on the highway. Ooh, what's the purple question mark marker? Might have been something interesting to spot. I wonder, would have been a derelict ship or something? Okay, and then we're hopping off of this. So we're in the right sector now.
Sunder, gas, sentinel.
And our mission, right, running a test on smart mines. I think the scientists are, yeah, they're stuck surrounded by some mines. So we're going over here to blow up some mines and free up a ship that's sort of a little bit stuck. So we're going to autopilot to get close, and then we'll creep up and try hard not to die. I'm going to do a quick save right now, because it would be a darn shame if I accidentally blew myself up. Usually you do manage to eject, but if I'm not going to have enough money to buy another ship, so I don't know what happens in that situation. I don't know if it's like an EVE Online situation where you always get a freebie replacement for a faction. I'm not sure that you do. Right, turn off the autopilot. Just going to go and recenter on our destination. And I definitely don't want to get too close too fast. I'm going to go and hit the brakes now. All right, my guns, if I open up my map view over here, and if I select my ship and bring up the info, loadout. So I can look. So the small pulse laser Mark 1, which is the gun that's on my ship, I can open up the encyclopedia entry, and it does have an effective range of 3.1 kilometers. However, I believe the targeting software on my ship, or my scanners, or some combination of the two, has a effective lock-on range of only about 2 kilometers. It might depend on the type of target that I'm looking at here, but these are clearly the mines, and the fact that they're question mark right now means I'm not going to get any sort of signal. Like, there you go. This is within 2.4 kilometers. I could try to shoot this. If you hold space, it does automatically try to rotate the gun. You can see there's a limit rotation, right? This is the nose of my ship. It's trying to go over there, do that with space. You can also target with the middle mouse button by default. And it'll try to target, you can see the little dot. That's where it's trying to shoot. Interestingly enough, I guess it still does the lock on. But we're not, I don't think this is, oh no, it is dying. Okay. Okay, that's kind of cool, but we'll get a much better picture of things if we get within scanning range. There we go. Okay, so this mine, for example, and this one here just lit up. It's got a little symbol to tell it's a mine. And it's got, we're going to see a little health bar on it. In fact, we can see the hull here. And it'll also, if this was moving, would give us the targeting circle. The little circle here would lead the target as well. But now, yeah, we can clearly see the shots. For all I know, it's slightly more accurate too. I mean, there's clearly a little bit of spread on our shots. So probably getting closer is going to increase our accuracy. On the other hand, they're mines. I don't want to be that close. But partially because I don't want to be too close when they blow up. And you are having a hard time hitting that bad boy. It's like we're getting XCOM in our shots. Again, we are in like our maximum targeting range. I can probably get quite a bit closer without the mines activating on me. Phew. Here. I'm just slowly drifting forward. And then whichever one gets there. And then, yeah, these are friend and foe mines, so they will actually, I believe, if they detect you as an enemy, they will automatically move towards you. I think they're dummy mines as well, which just proximity explode on anything. These, I mean, they definitely ignore what they consider friendlies, but I think they might be magnetically pulled towards things they consider to be bad guys. And I don't know if they would consider me to be a bad guy or not, but I'm not risking it. Because I think a single explosion from one of these mines is likely to kill me. A lot of mines to clear here. Now this ship, despite being tagged as a fighter, it is considered a small fighter. It is not very impressive right now. Mark 1 pulse gun. Oh, are you moving? That is definitely moving, and I think moving towards me. Okay, so it looks like they might have an engagement range of like half a kilometer. So let's definitely, let's definitely stay far. I'm happy I noticed that that guy was moving so I could target him immediately. Just making sure none of these are too close. Wow, that was terrifying to me.
Friend foe mine.
Can't believe there's 30 mines to destroy here. I'm used to these missions having fewer than that. I mean, maybe I just got lucky in previous times, but definitely maybe 10. There's a lot to destroy. Although we've gotten a couple of twofers, which is nice. A couple of times they've been close enough together that blowing up one took out the other one.
Unknown object. Friend foe mine.
All right, this is the last one. Number 30, and we're going to complete our very first mission. There's nothing to drop off, so it should...
Thanks for your help.
Autocomplete. You're welcome there, buddy. So he's got his engines back on. He's taken off. There we go. 56 grand. Just like that. We have sextupled our starting funds with one mission. Tell you what, let's click on these easier ones. That is pretty far away, which makes sense because it's different factions. Oh, that's a delivery. Industrial espionage. Deposit a satellite. Okay, let's do that. I do have 5 satellites available. It'll be a good way to talk about these deployables. So we'll just... Oh yeah, it's very far away, but we are like within spitting distance of the superhighway, and the superhighway travel, as we know, is very quick. So we're going to go and just pop this one off because it's just going to require dropping off satellite. As soon as we get into the system, we'll get the specific location told to us. And yeah, we'll do the deployables. So the deployables right now, I have 3 different ones. I have satellite nav beacons, resource probes. Nav beacons probably the easiest to explain. It just puts out a tiny little beacon somewhere that we can then use as a navigation point. We can use it to remember a location. We can use it to direct people to a certain area. That's it. Nav beacon, as far as I know, doesn't do anything. It just adds a map marker for us. They're dirt cheap. Satellites. So we've seen there's an area of vision around my ship. Right? You can see these hexes over here are sort of solid. They don't have the outline that's showing me my vision range. You can see as I move, it goes and extends. Within my vision, I'm getting constant updates about, like if I was within vision range of the Argon Wharf here, I would get constant updates about what they're buying and selling and be able to queue up other commands. Like for example, I could ask this to build me a ship. I guess I can buy a ship even if I don't have vision, as it turns out. That's kind of cool. But yeah, there's other things that you can do. And in particular, I think getting the live information about buying and selling and inventory is really valuable for setting up trade. So that's what the satellites are there for. And this mission, I have to specifically drop a satellite, and they'll pay me to compensate for that. Satellites, I think, are about 5K, something like that. So they're not dirt cheap, but they're not too bad. And then the other thing I have are resource probes, which, as I mentioned, some of the hexes will get colorified to show that they've got gases or minerals. And if you put a resource probe down, it'll tell you exactly what it is in what density. And I think in particular, if you're automating mining ships, I don't know if they need the resource probe to operate, or it just makes them substantially more useful, but I think in practice you want to have the resource probes anywhere you're going to do any kind of mining. I think there's a space battle going on here. I'm not sure.
Entering system. IS missed.
But that's possible. Now we do have some more missions being provided to us right now, but I'm going to ignore them for now. We've got a big old queue. We've got enough over here to get us a little bit of a starting fund and a few different options. We might have enough here to purchase like our first mining ship, for example, if I finish all these. And then I could go and hopefully set up somewhere good for some automated mining.
Entering system. Unholy retribution.
Okay, so my mission is to deploy a satellite in this area. So I guess they're not interested in watching a a specific station. They're just interested in maybe watching the traffic that comes back and forth through this area. So that's cool. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit enter over here, and you can see deploy. I'm deploying civilian things as opposed to military things, which would be mines, laser turrets, that sort of thing. And we'll just deploy a satellite in the correct area. Mission complete. 30 grand for that. Awesome. Remember that about 5 grand of that was the satellite itself, but that's not too shabby. What I could do is let's go and visit this wharf, maybe. We could rebuy a few things. I could also just get a couple of crew members, so I have the option of being lazy and using a pilot here. Also, by having the crew, it'll open us up to maybe be setting up some crew transfers later on. So I think that's what I'll do, and then we'll wrap things up. I will go and set guidance to this object, so I can use autopilot.
Engaged.
Well, even not using autopilot, it's nice to have the guidance to like remind me of, okay, go to this superhighway, make sure I'm taking the right direction. It is right-hand drive over here. Is it? Does right-hand drive reference the side of the road that you're on or the side of the vehicle you're on? Because in North America, right, to be generalized, we drive on the right-hand side of the road, but your steering wheel is on the opposite side of that. So I don't know if I'm using right-hand drive correctly there. But anyway, the superhighways are the right lane is the direction of travel. I'll turn off the autopilot, but we're still in travel mode, heading over to this wharf. The Paranids. The Paranids are... I can't remember what their deal is. I don't really know the factions and the lore very well in this. That's one of the other things I'm looking forward to diving in a little bit more as we go. We'll do this. We'll do a manual docking. It'll be a great way to end this first episode. So let me go to, well, not actually a stop, but just kill the travel engine. And these green markers are directing us towards the landing bay. I think, yeah, this is the landing bay right over here. Excellent. So come in. Once we're inside here, we'll drop our speed down to a max of 50, and we can get a little graphic. That's where we're being directed over to. Let me just bring me quite a bit slower. And then as we come in, we got this landing display. We've got a series of lights, so you can see that middle token is the facing. So if I face towards that, it turns green, so I'm facing the right way. We've got, if I strafe left and right, we can see a little indicator there to let me know if I'm correctly aligned that way or not. And then if I move forward, I don't think there's a strafe forward and backwards command, which is unfortunate, but there you go. We got another green light. And now a little bit further forward. Good. And then I can use my keys are, I don't think I've rebound any of the keys. So A and D is for strafing left and right. W and S is for going up and down. So now I can just lower myself and do this. If you find the landing to be a little tedious, you can get a landing computer. Actually, since this is a wharf, one of the things we can do is we can look at how we could upgrade our ship, for example. So we could change our engines. Currently, we've got this all-round engine on our ship, which is maybe kind of the worst of both worlds. A combat engine has really good, I think, just kind of base speed and boost. The travel engines, their base speed when you're just generally putting around isn't as high. Can we, if I click on this? Now, see, I don't want to add it to the ship. I mean, I guess I can cancel order. I don't know if there's another way to undo. Maybe if I click in... Can I get stats on this? I guess I can open the encyclopedia. There we go. So you can get, like, the forward thrust strength. This is not speed, right? This is the actual thrust strength, so it depends on the weight of your ship. But there you go. Max travel thrust will be quite high. So this is 8 kilonewtons. So 360 versus 8,000. And then, if I compare the Combat Mark 1, so it has 110 more kilonewtons of regular thrust, but 3,000 less travel thrust. Oh, I guess there's a back button over there. No, it's still just there over there. I don't know. There's probably a better way to navigate this. So if I'm specifically looking to get into some fights, I'd want the combat engine for better regular space speed and maneuverability. But if I'm looking to do scouting or trading, for example, then the travel engines are going to be much better. And I do think that probably on this ship, that would be more appealing. I wonder if, do we get a refund? Yeah, we do actually. Do we get a full refund on the price? Because it looks like this engine... Yeah, like I've got an Argon variant. This is the Pyramid. Like, what are the faction names again? It looks like I'm getting a full refund on these components, which is awfully nice. So it cost me $1,300. Yeah, there you go. There's the total over there. $1,300 to switch over to the travel drive, which I think I kind of like. I don't want to get into real fights on this ship. I mean, sure, I could go around and upgrade. I mean, I could upgrade the thrusters as well for more just general maneuverability, which is nice. I could upgrade my shield generators. Even the weapons, there's a few changes I can make. I could go to a Mark II laser. You can see it's 105K, although it's 80K difference to do the upgrade. I don't think this is ever going to be a combat beast. I actually really like the idea of going to a travel drive. And the other thing under software, as I said, you could upgrade to the docking computer, which does save you some time and effort and annoyance when you're docking, which is nice. And there's some scanner stuff. Police scanner is going to help you identify, I think, some criminal records. The trading computer, I think, is useful if you're automating trade on your ships. In the encyclopedia, we don't... Trading software maintains a link to potential buyers and sellers for limited time, provide current trade offer information. So it might cause some of those things to linger. That's resetting every time I open up. I'm betting there's something I could be doing to avoid this. But there are loadouts as well, some presets, and you can also save presets when you're happy with one, which makes it easy to apply to other things. But yeah, I'm not going to bother with the docking computer. Well, nah, screw it. Let's go into lazy mode. Get the docking computer. Not the docking is very hard, but what the hell, right? And then you can sort of vaguely fly into the docking parking spot, and your ship will just auto-dock for you. I might be interested in getting a few more consumables as we put around. In particular, I may want to make a habit of deploying a few of my own satellites so that I can start to build up a trade network ahead of time, which would be good. And yeah, I'm also going to pick up some crew members. So I guess I do the max there, and then can I change? I only want the apprentice ones, but maybe that's the only ones available. Like, I'm not actually sure because if I reduce this. Oh, no. Okay, there you go. No, it's not letting me do that. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm fine with just a couple of apprentice people ready to go. I'm not going to need any Marines. We're not going to do ship takeovers with this ship right now. We can give ourselves various paint jobs as well. And you can tune some of your ship settings over here too. We can also rename this ship. So obviously this is going to be the Sprout. The Sprout 1. Let's use a capital I. Oh, that's kind of handy. You can auto-append the ship class name as a shortcut. Oh, that's very lovely. And the loadout name if we've got one. Okay, this is actually really handy quality of life stuff. So this is going to cost me 71 grand. Big part of it is the docking computer, these satellites as well. That's okay. I've got the money. I think it's worthwhile. There's the crew as well. One of the things that's a little tricky is right now, and you do get a big warning, ship has not been adding to the shopping list. So you add it to the shopping list because you can do multiple things sort of simultaneously. And I'm just going to go ahead and confirm the order. So it's going to cost me 71 grand. It's going to take 30 seconds to do. But yeah, then we'll have some extra satellites, a faster engine, the lazy docking computer, and some crew as well. And one of the things I'll be able to do is like right now they're just service crew. So they will very slowly auto repair damage on your ship. But I can promote one of the crew to be a pilot. And then what happens is every time I stand up over here, Vanguard. One of the crew, if I upgraded to a pilot, will come out from the back little cargo quarters, cargo/quarters through here, and we'll go and sit in the ship. And you can give a bunch of commands to your ship. We haven't really seen that here, but with the ship selected, either from the map or if I select it from the property owned, then when you right-click somewhere and if you've got a pilot, you're going to have these buttons are going to be active, auto-explore and do different things, including attacking and stuff like that. What they can do is somewhat limited based on their skills, not just how good they are, but some activities are literally only possible as they skill up. That becomes, it's actually really handy with just one. You get this little upkeep mission. So if you look at mission manager, upkeep missions, you get a little thing to remind you for each ship is, hey, you might want a captain for all of this. It's not a real mission. It's more of a reminder that might be handy. So I could clear that immediately, actually. Like, why not? If I go and select my ship, I can select it from the map as well. But then I go to the crew here and I can see I've got a couple of crew. Oh yeah, and the crew that you hire is based on where you're hiring them. So I've got this Pyramid crew, so they've got some funny names. Let's get Ramalam and Ding Dong over here, and I'm gonna go and promote you to a pilot. So now on this ship, I do have a pilot.
Vanguard.
There you go. What's up, dude? Thanks, Captain. And he's gonna sit in there and I can start giving him some commands. Or I can click on this and I can manually take command again, and he'll just go and sit in the back for a little bit. So yeah, gives you a few more options, which is handy dandy. And now if I have the ship selected and, oh, okay, it's doing the guidance because I'm actually here. But now that I'm not here, there we go. See, now these are not grayed out. Perfect. All right, I'm going to wrap up this first episode over here. I'm really looking forward to playing a bunch of this game. What I'm going to do is I might go and do a few more of these starter missions in between episodes. I don't know. No, we got some interesting things. We'll be back right away. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.